Okay, so I'm about to give you five, like uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, 5 ways to get softer hair. If that's something you're interested in, you should watch the rest of this video. You should also subscribe too, because I make somewhat decent content, so it's somewhat of worth your time. But yeah, anyway, watch the video. Alright, so my first tip is do not use products like hair care products that have fragrances in them, okay? Because the fragrances can have alcohol. Alcohol is a very drying liquid, and that drying liquid does an amazing job of stripping your hair of its natural oils, and out those natural oils, you're stuck with dry and brittle hair. So think of it like you have a, I don't know, like a piece of grass. Like a piece of grass, and it's nice and moist, it's nice and soft, it moves, but then as it dries out, because of the lack of moisture, it just breaks apart. That's your hair. So to get softer hair, you need to have like oils in your hair and moisture. And using a product that has alcohol in it can destroy that. So stay away from the fragrances, the fake fragrances, the stuff that just says like, what is it? What's the usual thing it says on there? It says like fragrance. That's it. There's nothing else. No extract. Oh, also stay away from stuff that says like extract, like almond extract or vanilla extract, because it has alcohol in it, and the alcohol can be drying to your hair, of course. So stay away from that stuff. Orange extract, lemon extract, all that stuff. Cut it out. Get rid of it. So that's one. Okay, number two. Use products that have a combination of oil and moisture in them. So the combination of the oil and moisture does an amazing job of locking in that moisture to your hair. So let me explain it to you. Let's go back to that grass thing I was talking about. So you got the piece of grass, right? And you spray it with some water. Now once you spray with water, you spray some oil on top of that. What happens is the oil, which is a sealant, does an amazing job of sealing up that moisture. It's like a barrier, a nice protective barrier around that water, which is around the grass strand. So one thing people really make a mistake with is they take a shower, right? Get out the shower, let their hair like semi-dry, then add oil into it. That's a problem, because now you don't have as much moisture being locked in with that oil. So if you use a combination product that has like a spray that has the oil in it and the moisture, the oil and the water in it, once you're spraying in there, it does an amazing job of locking it in real tight, real nice. And then you can just throw butter on top of that as well. Like this one, you know, one of our 24 karat gold butter. Throw butter on top of that, then boom. It's soft and supple. Supple. Number 3 is to sleep in a satin bonnet or with a satin pillowcase. So if you're looking to get like a satin bonnet or something, you can grab one of those off the intranet or from your local beauty supply store. But I think this company called Net or Gold is actually giving them away for free. So you can do that as well if you want to do that. Get a free satin bonnet, you know, a free Net or Gold satin bonnet. But yeah, satin bonnets. The most amazing thing about satin, silk, all that stuff, is it's very smooth. It's very unabrasive when it comes to the hair. So what happens is while your hair is in here, right? So remember, we're going to go from step, 2, right, of having the moisture and the oil. You got the moisture and oil sprayed in there. Then you put this nice satin, silkish. Well, this is satin, but you got those 3 combinations. Those are the usual ones you can check out. But you spray that stuff in there, you put this on top of it. Now what happens, right, is now all that moisture is being kept inside of here, right? So it's like, think about using like a shower cap. So if you had a shower cap, there's no way moisture gets out. But the one thing about the shower cap method that I found out is that moisture over time can start smelling kind of funky because there's no airflow. So with this, you got a little bit of airflow, you got the moisture still locked in, and this is a bonus, right? When you use like a satin bonnet, you're not getting any of that excess oil onto your pillowcase. And that dirty pillowcase that we talked about before in a couple videos back can cause acne. So you use a nice little bonnet like this one with this free bonnet here from Net or Gold. So if you want one, you can get one in the link below, the description below. You can get a free bonnet. So yeah, get a bonnet. Yeah. Okay, number 4. Is to use a wooden comb. Now, there's been a lot of controversy. Well, not really. There's a lot of people just on my Instagram saying that it makes no sense that a wooden comb would help make your hair softer. So let me just run it through it let me just run it down for you again with some analogies. So let's say you have some stiff muscles, right? You got some real stiff muscles. Just your joints are stiff, your muscles are stiff, and then you get a massage, and you get it massaged up, and you get nice and limbered, right? What's going to happen? Your muscles will get nice and loose. So if you think about your hair in a very similar fashion with a wooden comb, as you're combing through, right, what happens is this is conditioning. It's removing any any harshness to your hair. So that harshness, that dirt, that grime, all the stuff that you just experienced that's weighing down your hair, that's causing your hair to just feel tough. You have like old butters in there and stuff like that. It's not moving around like plastic combs and metal combs do a terrible job. Like actually, they don't really do the job at all of moving oils and butters throughout your hair, beard or hair. So what can happen is that can clump up, and once that clumps up right there, then it collects dirt, and then you got this dirty clump, and it's just like it's just gonna get hard, right? So something like this, like a little wooden comb like this, will smooth through, move those oils around, and allow them to distribute nice and evenly and properly. Also, if you ever done anything with leather, right? If you take a piece of wood, like a wooden thing, you just rub it against the leather. After a while, that leather that was nice and stiff is going to start loosening up because you're conditioning the wood. You're conditioning the leather. As you're conditioning that leather, it loosens up. It's the same thing with your hair. It's the same thing. It's just as you rub it, right, it goes from hard to soft. Giggity. You rub it, hard to soft. Let me knock my hand. Whew, okay, look. Comb, hair, goes through, removes harshness, distributes oils, all right, conditions the hair to result in softer hair, right? So if you just keep on using it, over time what's going to happen is your hair will feel softer than it did before. So that's tip number four. Tip number 4, comb. Okay, tip number 5 is to avoid heat. So I can tell you for a fact, when I go outside and I don't have any product in to protect my hair from heat when it's really sunny outside, what happens is I end up resulting in stiff, hard, and crackly hair. Usually ends in a lot of split ends, and I'm sitting there trimming through each one. That's what happens when I go outside and it's a lot of heat and I did not properly protect my hair. So it's very important that you do the same. You should really go outside with something like, so this is a beard butter, basically a beard oil here that we have. It does a great job of protecting against that stuff. Same thing for hair, right across the top here. It does an amazing job of just blocking out that harshness of the sun. Now, a lot of people say, well, my ancestors, they lived, in Africa, and they didn't use anything on their hair. And I understand what you're saying. I get it. I got it. But remind yourself that you're not your ancestors. Okay? You probably live in Detroit. And in Detroit, you have a lot of pollution. That pollution wasn't something that was in Africa centuries ago. And also, there wasn't that pollution in your food. And also, there wasn't pollution in your water. So, all that stuff adds up. So, just make sure you remind yourself that you aren't, somebody living in a place that's nice and not polluted. And those type of pollutants can cause damage to your hair, to your skin, and whatnot. So that's that one. Oh, also don't use like heat stuff, like flat ironing and stuff like that, because it just burns your hair, and then it results in like hair that doesn't have any moisture in it, and no moisture becomes hard. And we've gone there, right? We've gone to the lack of moisture makes things hard. Sometimes. A lack of moisture can make certain things really soft. Okay, tip number 5 is to avoid heat. So I can tell you for a fact, when I go outside and I don't have any product in to protect my hair from heat when it's really sunny outside, what happens is I end up resulting in stiff, hard, and crackly hair. Usually ends in a lot of split ends, and I'm sitting there trimming through each one. That's what happens when I go outside and it's a lot of heat and I did not properly protect my hair. So it's very important that you do the same. You should really go outside with something like, this is a beard butter, basically a beard oil here that we have. It does a great job of protecting against that stuff. Same thing for hair, right across the top here. It does an amazing job of just blocking out that harshness of the sun. Now, a lot of people say, well, my ancestors, they lived, in Africa, and they didn't use anything on their hair. And I understand what you're saying. I get it. I got it. But remind yourself that you're not your ancestors. Okay? You probably live in Detroit. And in Detroit, you have a lot of pollution. That pollution wasn't something that was in Africa 6 years ago. And also there wasn't that pollution in your food, and also there wasn't pollution in your water. So, you know, it all that stuff adds up. So just make sure you remind yourself that you aren't, you know, somebody living in a place that's nice and not polluted. And those type of pollutants can cause damage to your hair, to your skin and whatnot. So that's that one. Oh, also don't use like heat stuff, like, you know, flat ironing and stuff like that, because it just burns your hair and then it results in like hair that doesn't have any moisture in it, and no moisture becomes hard. And we've gone there, right? We've gone to the lack of moisture makes things hard. Sometimes a lack of moisture can make certain things really soft. All right, here's a bonus tip. But, you know, just gonna throw it out there. I'm sure you all know this one already, but drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. If you drink enough water, what happens is your body has much water in it, because your hair grows and it's like a tree. We've gone over this tree. Trees need water to grow big and strong. Your hair needs water to grow big and strong. So I don't think I have to say any more about that, do I? No, right? You got this. Just drink water. So that's tip number 6. It's a very short one. So those are my 6 tips to getting softer hair. If you have any questions about anything you just read, please do me a favor and leave a comment below. Do not hesitate to reach out to me, because I'm always available, because I have no life. I'm always around. I'm here. I'm here for you, baby. I'm here. Okay? Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on the gram. Like my Facebook page. And if you want to purchase a product like one of my wooden combs, you can do so in the link below. Or if you want to get this free, again I said free, satin bonnet, you're more than welcome to grab yours while supplies last. I think we're good here. Good for you? Was it good for you? Was it as good for you as it was for me? No, it's usually the case, but it's okay though. Giggity.